There's no denying it. 2024 is shaping up to be a year of seismic cultural shifts. And no, I'm not just talking about AI taking over everything from art to ordering pizza. What we're witnessing is a surprising and surprisingly rapid retreat from the diversity, equity, and inclusion movement that has dominated Hollywood and the media landscape for years. It's like someone flipped a switch, and suddenly the playbook that was the gospel just yesterday is being quietly shuffled to the back of the shelf.
Those people who support him with anger and hate, because that's what he's about, they're going to see. I mean, I used to see these things. I didn't understand how he and Rosie O'Donnell used to get it. Didn't really care. Yeah. I see what a hateful, mean-spirited, awful thing he is.
He was vicious to her.
He's vicious. And why will he not do that in this country? He's already done it.
The change is palpable, especially when you look at the media landscape. Studios that once championed DEI initiatives with fervor are now stepping back, perhaps realizing that the approach wasn't winning hearts or dollars the way they'd hoped. Even the most casual observers are picking up on this shift, but not everyone is on board with this change. Sonny Hostin of The View is doubling down, refusing to let go of what they see as a moral imperative. And this is where things get spicy. But before we continue with this whole drama, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the latest news surrounding Hollywood. Sonny has made headlines recently for calling out some of Hollywood's biggest names, actors who, in her opinion, have failed to uphold the DEI banner. Chief among her targets are Robert De Niro and George Clooney, two A-list legends who Sonny feels have gone silent at a critical time. Now, before we get into Sonny's critique, let's take a moment to appreciate the audacity of going after two of Hollywood's most respected figures. Robert De Niro isn't just an actor, he's a cultural institution. The man's been in more iconic movies than most of us have had hot dinners. And Clooney, he's not just a movie star, he's practically the ambassador of Suave, a real-life Danny Ocean who juggles acting, directing, and humanitarian work with the ease of someone flipping pancakes on a Sunday morning. Sonny, however, isn't impressed. In a fiery monologue, she lamented the lack of vocal support from these Hollywood heavyweights. "We've seen this play out in front of us with Mr. De Niro," adding, "It reflects poorly on us. We need more voices like his to help us fight against sexism, misogyny, and bigotry."
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border. The border crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not
Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's Whoopi.
She didn't stop there, accusing other stars like George Clooney of essentially abandoning the cause. Her frustration was palpable, but it also raised some eyebrows. For starters, it's worth asking, is it really De Niro's responsibility to be the face of every social cause? The man's 80 years old. Maybe he's earned the right to take a step back and enjoy his twilight years without being dragged into the culture wars. And Clooney? Sure, he's a vocal advocate when it comes to causes he's passionate about, but he's also a busy guy. Between his film projects, humanitarian efforts, and those Nespresso commercials, the man's got a lot on his plate. But Sonny wasn't done. She also turned her attention inward, acknowledging that she's faced her own share of criticism. "There's a lot of blaming going around, especially toward me, as to why we lost," she said, referencing recent setbacks for the DEI movement. But the bigger picture is looking at some of these A-list stars, like Robert De Niro, who gave up on us too easily. She stated,
Sonny Hostin I think she went to Binghamton undergrad, and she went to Notre Dame Law School, which is a great law school. Her son right now is at Harvard. That son she wants us to think is sitting there oppressed, who she's got to fight on behalf of because America is so awful to him. They're educating him right now at Harvard University. And Jason, would you take a look at this? Because I'm going to guess, I haven't been to your house down in Tennessee, but I'm going to guess it doesn't look like this. This is Sonny Hostin's home in this shitty country that she can't stand, that doesn't treat Black people like Sonny well. She let People magazine feature her home. Look at this dump. This country sucks. She went to Notre Dame Law School. She makes millions on The View. Her son's at Harvard. I'm sure her daughter's at private school on her way to some Ivy League. This is where Sonny lives. And F off, America. I can't stand how you've kept us all in chains. That's her messaging.
Here's the thing. Sonny's frustration is understandable to a point. When you're passionate about a cause, it's disappointing to see people with massive platforms seemingly step away from the fight. But at the same time, her comments raise some important questions about the effectiveness of celebrity activism in the first place. Let's face it, Hollywood's relationship with activism has always been complicated. On the one hand, celebrities have the kind of reach and influence that most of us can only dream of. On the other hand, there's a growing sense of fatigue among the public when it comes to being lectured by people whose lives are far removed from their own. Take Mark Hamill, for example.
Well, in the movies, I fought against make-believe evil. But we're at a time in our history where we're fighting against real evil. So I beg you, please, don't go to the orange side.
The beloved Star Wars actor was once a vocal presence on social media, using his platform to speak out on a range of issues. But after leaving X and moving to smaller platforms like Blue Sky, he's been noticeably quieter. And honestly, who can blame him? Social media has become a toxic swamp where every word is dissected, debated, and often twisted beyond recognition. This brings us back to Sunny's comments. While it's easy to understand her frustration, there's also a certain irony in her position. Here she is, calling out others for not doing enough, while The View, the very platform she represents, is struggling to maintain its relevance. Ratings for the show have been in freefall, and many viewers have criticized the host for their heavy-handed political commentary. It's a bit like a sinking ship captain blaming the ocean for being too wet. And then there's the broader cultural context. The backlash against Hollywood's perceived moral grandstanding isn't just about politics, it's about trust. For years, audiences have felt like they were being talked down to by celebrities who seemed out of touch with their realities. The result? A growing disconnect between Hollywood and its audience. What's next for the DEI movement and the celebrities who once championed it? Will we see a resurgence of activism from figures like De Niro and Clooney? Or is this the beginning of a new era? One where celebrities take a back seat and let grassroots movements lead the charge? One thing's for sure, the drama isn't going anywhere.
This is an ad that Will Ferrell cut for Kamala Harris. Let's take a look.
Last time, only a few thousand votes kept Trump out of office. And this time, we will hold you personally responsible, Gary.
It also sort of reminds me of what Trump has been saying in some of
Yes.
his rallies.
Yes.
Where he's like, you have to get not Gary, but he's like, you have to get him off the couch.
Get him
Get him off the vote.
Get your fat husband off the couch. Get that fat pig off the couch. Tell him to go and vote for Trump. He's going to save our country.
Hollywood loves a good comeback story, and if there's one thing this town knows how to do, it's reinvent itself. Whether that reinvention involves more activism or a return to good old-fashioned entertainment remains to be seen. For now, though, it seems clear that the cultural tide is turning. The question is, will Sunny and others like her adapt to this new reality, or will they continue to fight a losing battle? Only time will tell. Until then, let's give De Niro and Clooney a little grace. Maybe they've gone quiet because they're tired, or maybe, just maybe, they've realized that actions speak louder than words. Either way, the cultural landscape is shifting, and it's going to be fascinating to see where it all leads. If you guys liked today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going, and I'll see you in the next one, because in Hollywood and beyond, the drama never really ends.